Today by Nick Green. He's the co-founder and CEO of Thrive Market. It's an e-commerce membership-based retailer specializing in natural and organic food products. And Green happens to be one of the few Latinx leaders running a company of this size. The company is reportedly considering an IPO at a $2 billion valuation. And in celebration of his Hispanic Heritage Month here on CNBC, we are spotlighting leaders from the community that are paving the way across successful startups and industry disruptors. Nick, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Julia. Really happy to be here.
And Nick, full disclosure, I am a subscriber of Thrive Market. I order the products and I signed up during the pandemic. I think it was April 2020. And I suspect I am not alone, but I was new to the model when I discovered it. Why don't you explain what is the business model of Thrive Market?
Well, first, our business model starts with our mission. So we're on a mission to make healthy and sustainable living easy, affordable, and accessible to anybody. And the way we do it is through our really unique membership model. So our members pay $60 a year, the equivalent of about $5 a month, and they get access to about 5,000 different products that we curate, everything from snacks and supplements to home, beauty, pet products, basically everything non-perishable that you would find in a healthy grocery store like a Whole Foods. But they're able to find it at discounts to retail. So they get real savings shipped anywhere in the country using carbon neutral shipping. And then in a user experience that really makes it easy. So if you're keto and you've got a spouse who's gluten-free and a child with a nut allergy, you click, and it all filters down. And then on the back end, our membership is funding our mission. So we're carbon neutral shipping, zero waste fulfillment, and then we give away free memberships for low-income families.
So I was skeptical of paying yet another fee. I already subscribed to Amazon Prime. I thought, why do I need another subscription service? Tell me about why it's so essential to have that fee as opposed to just letting people come and buy when they need to have products. Why is it essential for the business model and also for the customers to pay $60 up front?
Yeah, so it's a lot like a Costco or an Amazon Prime membership where you pay up front and then you get benefits down the line. And for us, again, that mission is to make healthy living accessible. Part of that is making it affordable. Ironically, by paying the fee up front, we're able to then deliver prices that you just can't find anywhere else. And our members on average are making back 3 times their membership fee in savings during the course of the year. And then, as I said before, the membership also enables us to really run our business in alignment with our mission and values on the back end. So whether that's zero waste fulfillment or it's carbon neutral shipping, or like I said, giving memberships for free to low-income families and first responders and military veterans and teachers, the membership really powers the mission and it powers the business.
Before we talk more about the mission, I want to talk about you being a B Corporation. Tell me a little bit about the company's growth. What has your subscriber growth been over the past couple of years, and how much have you grown during this period of the pandemic when people have been wary of going to grocery stores?
Yeah, I mean, we've been growing very fast for the 7 years that we've been in existence. So we're already over 1 million paid members, and obviously a lot of members that we also bring in for free who can't afford the membership. We have grown to hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, and during the pandemic, we saw that growth just accelerate. Both the membership growth and the engagement of our existing members, as many people were, shopping from home. And so we sort of saw this intersection of the 2 big trends that we're already betting on, which is shopping online and wanting to be healthy, were just magnified by the pandemic. So it's been an extraordinary year.
You ship heavy items. You don't charge any shipping fees after you reach a certain dollar value. It seems expensive to do that. And it seems like just this whole business is challenging. You added frozen foods, but you don't have fresh foods. How do you deal with these inherent challenges of shipping frozen items, large bulky items, and serve your customers when they expect to get everything in that sort of Amazon immediate gratification way?
Yeah, part of it is really helping our members to understand what our value proposition is, and that it is about getting things quickly. It is about getting the best quality, obviously. It is about getting things at great prices, but it's also, as I said, about doing things right. So, we don't ship, for example, one-off items the way that Amazon does, because the shipping carbon footprint is very high. The packaging and waste from a sustainability standpoint is really pretty bad. And so instead, we try to get our members to consolidate orders. So we have that shipping threshold. And as a result, our average order value is about $80. Typical order has 15 items. And that's better for our business. It's also better for our members because it's a lot more convenient to get your items all at once than having to, wait and find a bunch of items coming from different places at different times. And then it's much better for the environment from a carbon footprint standpoint and from a packaging waste standpoint. So, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, and what we just focused on educating our members about that. And we find they really buy into it. Our members are conscious consumers. They want to do right by their families and their communities and their own health, but they also want to do right by the planet. And we think that a membership that funds all of those things and is really stakeholder driven is something that a lot of consumers are ready for.
How much do you see growth slowing or churn increasing as the economy opens up again post-pandemic? Is that a threat to your business?
Look, we're as happy as everyone else about some return to normalcy, and we hope for that for our members and for our country. We've seen a remarkable level of retention, that said, on the members that came in during the pandemic. Those cohorts are renewing at the same or higher rates than we've seen with previous cohorts. And the engagement remains really strong. Again, I think the key thing is the pandemic accelerated the trends towards e-commerce, the trend towards wanting to live healthier, but they weren't things that just were started during the pandemic. They were already in motion. And so, we had hundreds of thousands of members before the pandemic. We now have reached 1 million members. And those 1 million members are sticking around and finding that it's a better way to shop. It's more convenient, it's more affordable, and they're getting higher quality products delivered to their doors. So, pandemic or not, we think that model is really appealing.
Talk to us about being a B corporation. What does that mean, practically speaking? And what does that mean in terms of the long-term interest of the company?
Yeah, what it means, practically speaking, is that we are a stakeholder-driven model. So a traditional corporate structure basically prioritizes shareholders and a fiduciary toward shareholders above all else. And we've said we're a business that, yes, we're going to serve our shareholders, but we also serve multiple stakeholders, including the environment, including our workers, and including the communities that we impact. And we think that's actually the right way to create long-term shareholder value as well. I think we've proven that historically with the growth rate that we've had and with the way that we've been able to drive the business model. In some ways, it was a bit of a formality. So we became a B Corp last year. We've been doing those things, though, since inception. But we think it's an important one because it makes us part of a community now of other companies that are like-minded that we can share best practices with. And it's a great signal to consumers who are increasingly, as I said, aware of these things and wanting to support businesses that are doing the right thing.
It is a great signal to consumers such as myself, but I wonder, as you move towards potentially entering the public markets with an IPO, if there's a risk that prioritization of the social impact could limit your ability to grow quickly.
We haven't seen that. Again, since day one, we've been a carbon neutral company. Since day one, we've provided free memberships to low-income families. Since day one, we've, of course, been mission driven. That's why we started the company. And we see our mission and our business opportunity as two sides of the same coin, right? The opportunity is to make healthy living accessible. If we do that, we can build a very big business over the very long term. And in that sense, we really feel that it's not a question of stakeholder driven or shareholder driven. It's a question of how do the two synergize with one another. And we believe by being a better partner to our brands, by working in our supply chains to improve their sustainability, by showing our members that we're doing the right thing for the planet and for people, that strengthens our business. It increases our loyalty. It increases the flywheels in our business, and ultimately will lead to not only a higher growth business, but a more profitable business over time. And that's good for our shareholders.
And do you see yourself competing with Amazon? Who's the main competition? Are people ordering from Thrive Market instead of going to the grocery store? Or do you have a lot of overlap with Amazon Prime subscribers like myself?
We do have overlap with Amazon Prime subscribers because a lot of people in general are Amazon Prime subscribers. We think we have a very different value proposition. And for the types of products that we sell and for consumers that really care about being more conscious, about being more sustainable, about finding healthy products and being able to trust that everything that they're buying reaches the high quality standards, we do things that Amazon just doesn't do. For example, when you come on Thrive, every product is tagged according to 90 different metadata categories. So that if you're keto, you've got a spouse who's gluten-free, you have a kid who has a nut allergy, it all filters down. And so it really does make it easier. We don't feel like we compete directly with Amazon. We think it's a very different value proposition. And I think the proof is in the pudding. A lot of people have an Amazon Prime subscription and they also have a Thrive Market subscription, just like they have a Netflix subscription and a Peloton subscription.
And so are you going to go public? $2 billion valuation as of now, is that right?
No comment on rumors and speculation.
Well, then I will pivot then. And I will not push you on that, but I look forward to following that IPO when it does happen and ask you about your own personal journey as an entrepreneur. What led you to want to co-found this company?
Yeah, it's very personal. As I said, the business started with that mission. It's the same today as it was 7 years ago. We want to make healthy and sustainable living easy, affordable, and accessible to everyone. And that really came for me, and different reasons for our different co-founders. There's four of us, but for me, it came from my own personal experience growing up and seeing how hard my mom worked to make healthy choices for our family. And I live in LA now. That's where the company is based, but I grew up outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Very middle class in a community where there weren't necessarily a lot of healthy options. My mom is Mexican American and grew up in a large Mexican American family that really strove for the American dream, but also struggled with their health. And so it was really important to her to be healthy for our family, and it was really hard. It meant driving long distances to the grocery store. It meant spending more on healthier groceries. It meant doing a lot of her own research at a time when you couldn't just go online and learn from different thought leaders or influencers. And so what I realized is that there's a lot of people like my mom, even today, 30 years later, who are struggling to make healthy choices for their families. And tens of millions more, we believe, that are going to come online to this idea over the next decade. And there needs to be a place for them. There needs to be a place that makes it easy, that makes it affordable, that makes it simple. It shouldn't be that hard to put healthy food on the table, to buy cleaning products that are going to be non-toxic, even to feed your pet healthier foods. These are things that more and more people want, and that there needs to be a place for, and that's what we're trying to provide.
Yeah, a powerful message indeed, and certainly one that seems founded in so much personal experience, which can make your efforts even more powerful. But tell me about your experience raising money. You've now raised so many rounds now, meaningful financing at a high valuation, but you are really in the minority here. There's so few Latinx founded companies that have been able to do what you have. What's your message to the others out there and to the community in general?
Look, I think that as a founder, your personal connection to your business is the thing that will keep you going through thick and thin, ups and downs, all the twists and turns. For me, my Mexican heritage and my mom's story and her family's experience and what I observed her do for our family to to change a generational cycle on healthy living profoundly impacted me. And I think that a lot of people had the same experience, whether Latinx or African American, or any minority group, or of any heritage at all. Your history and your heritage matters, and if you connect to that at a personal level, that can in many cases be inspiration for what you do. And in my case, it certainly has been. It has not been easy. When we went out to fundraise initially, we were rejected by every VC we talked to. That was, I think, in large part because most of the VCs weren't people that were facing the hardship of trying to get healthy and sustainable food in places like, the middle class, middle America. A lot of them are living in places like Los Angeles and New York and San Francisco, where you have a health food retailer on every corner. And so that was a struggle for sure when we're trying to solve a problem that applies to mainstream middle class, middle America, that disproportionately affects minorities and single parents. And that isn't necessarily what investors are going to be most in touch with. But what I can say is that as we started to get traction as a business, investors were really excited. And they were excited about both the success of the business as well as the mission. And I think one of the things that's so exciting today from an entrepreneur's perspective is how much the same way consumer attitudes are changing, and consumers want to do the right thing and vote with their dollars and support conscious companies. I think investors do too. And we're proof of that. And the more successful companies that are, succeed at fundraising for the right reasons, the more that flywheel will go as well.
Yeah, success, the proof of concept. You're showing that it can be done to both prioritize people, planet, profits, all at the same time. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Great to get some insight into your journey as a founder, as well as the company and what is coming next for Thrive Market. I'm Julia Boorstin. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.